How do we spend so much money and I not kill you?
Hey, that sounds familiar.
That's a great topic.
My name is Chris Pierce, Committed Car Club. I live in Lumberton, Texas, and this is my wife.
Hi, I'm Manny. I'm a Sagittarius. I like long walks on the beach. We've been together for 13 years.
Married 11 years a week ago.
We've got two-legged children, and we have 3 four-legged children.
Yeah, the two-legged children are, we created those. And
we're pretty good at it.
Pretty good
they're
at making,
really pretty.
Pretty good at making those kids.
Yeah.
One's 5, one's 9, and both of them just 2 little girls just have my heart, you know.
Ruling the world.
How did we meet?
You were stationed in Virginia.
I was in the Air Force, and we were in Virginia. Went to a party with, I had a few of my friends that had trucks, and we went to a party, and we
my brother was one of them.
Right, her brother, and I was looking around, I was like, oh, you know, check out these girls, and I was like, well, that one right there looks all right, and I went up to him, and I said, hey, who's that hottie over in the corner? And he's like, bro, that's my sister, man. And I was like, well, shit, you think she'd wouldn't mind if I went over and talked to her a little bit? And then I went over there, and it's just been...
He was not that suave, let me tell you. He came over, and he didn't like chicks that smoked. So he took my cigarette out of my hand, my last one, mind you, and put it out, and he said, now you have my undivided attention.
Yep. And I had to think I had a little... I had a Bag S10 with real fire on it, and I was trying to show it off. And I didn't know she was a car show girl anyway. So I took her out. I said, check out my truck. You know, it's so cool. And she's like, psh, it ain't nothing.
You have nothing.
My daddy's truck's on billets, and it's 04.
Whoops.
Yeah. So I completely misjudged all that.
But then he became the flower guy at the party. He was forever known as the flower guy at the party because...
I went and got you orange flowers, I think, in the middle of the night. And then I held your hair throwing up. That was our first night ever meeting.
Yeah, it was magical. That's how you're supposed to meet people, the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, no Tinder or no Match.com here or Christian Mingle. This is real love. I held her hair.
Snapchat you my boobs.
No dick pics.
Growing up, vehicles were always my dad's forte. My dad is a genius. He can build or fix anything. I mean, anything. So one day he was just taking the alternator out of our old 85 Chevy Malibu station wagon. And I wanted to know how it all worked. And not only just getting to spend time with my daddy, but just learning the mechanics of it. And then I'm pretty sure that by 12, I was probably walking into an Advanced Auto Parts with the rear end shaft of an 85 Suburban. And yeah, I've always been a grease monkey. And then I like makeup though.
What brought me into trucks when I was growing up is just pretty much lack of having a running vehicle. That's what started off life. I grew up on a big farm. We had cows, horses, chickens, everything. And I grew up in Missouri, kind of an hour south of St. Louis. And we had farm trucks that they barely ran, so we had to keep them running and stuff. And my dad he's been big into old Camaros. That was my dad's thing his whole life. The first gen Camaro, 67, 8, or 9. And when I was 14, he found one kind of in a field. He said, well, you know, if you work off this summer, instead of me paying you for putting up hay, we'll just get you, you know, we'll help you get this Camaro. So it's a 67 Camaro. It was a base model, had a small block and a turbo 350. We put a full interior in it. I did a 4-speed swap because everything had to, if it's a muscle car, you need to shift it, in my opinion. And we just went from there with that car. I started kind of slowly restoring it here and there. And then I drove it to high school a few times and took it to graduation, took it to prom. It was a good little car. But I've had it since I was, I guess, 14 or 15, I think. I was still back there in the shop. I got out of high school, went to the Air Force. First base I went to was Virginia. and that's where I met her. Well, at the time when I was in Virginia, I had lifted trucks. Everybody was doing lifted truck thing. Met a friend of mine. I needed some welding done on my truck, and I didn't know how to weld, didn't have a welder. So a friend of mine brought me to his house, and he had a bagged S10. Well, I was like, what in the world is this junk? You know what I mean? I said, you can't do anything with this horrible, horrible truck. Eventually, traded for that truck, my lifted truck for his bagged truck after hanging out with this guy for a few times. So it was a different experience. It had to be a 91 Mazda 2200 body dropped. It didn't have second gear. So we'd have to shift from first to third. And me and Cody Reynolds and a few of us, we put a transmission in that we've got from a friend of ours, got it all in there, took a full day, didn't have reverse. So I went from having first gear to having to shift to third gear to not having reverse. So every time I took that truck to work, I had to push it out of the parking space, back it out just so I could drive forward to get home. And then I got an itch to bag this new body style GMC.
Yeah, that itch lasted a week, honey.
Well, and then
like that's not an itch. That's ooh, that looks nice. Let's do it.
I went out and bought this truck, and she was a big part of it. I wanted a white or a black truck. It's just my thing. I like white trucks.
Absolutely not. I was like, we've been there, we've done that. Just okay. So what he did was he told me what he wanted in the truck. Option wise, and I could pick the color, and that Christmas, I got it. Yeah, it's a crimson red truck. It's only a 2-year color. They used to put it on vets. They brought it back for this 17 and 18, I believe. It's a really pretty color, but brought that truck, went from stock. I drove it for 800 miles, I think, and then I took it to a real good friend of ours, Brent Sharp. He owns Sharp Ingenuities in San Antonio. He knocked it out of the park, really. He bagged it. Everything worked great. It was a good truck. Drove it for another, 6,000 miles bagged, and just decided, you know what, there's too many of them bodied trucks out here. I wouldn't mind having a body drop. And that's when I said, hold up. And that's when his dream actually went on pause. Yeah. And we got the Durango. Oh yeah, we did get the Durango between there, didn't we? Yeah. I really needed a new vehicle, but I told him, I said, babe, you get to have all the fun. I have been watching you for 10 years build trucks and do whatever you want with them. It's my turn. So we started looking around, and all the new SUVs, they'd been done a few times. We hadn't seen too many Durangos done real well. No. So I told her, she was against it. She's like, I want a Ford, I want to do an Explorer. You know, I love my Explorer. And I was like, well, let's go look at these Durangos. They look pretty cool. And we got on the lot, and she's like, that one. And it was a black one. And she wanted a particular interior. She wanted it red. They offer a red interior in some of the SRT packages. And I wanted the SRT package because I was like, okay, I already have like a mom vehicle, so I want to have like the ultimate mom vehicle. So it's fast. So it's got a 5.7 liter Hemi, and she's nice. We hadn't even left the dealership, and I had universal air suspension kit ordered. I had Viair compressors. Ordered. We had wheels. We picked those out a little after, if I remember right. But we had stuff ordered for that Durango. By the end of the week, we were bagging it. We had, I think, 500 or 600 miles in that Durango, and we did it in my garage. My goal was to have it done before I started on the frame swap on my truck, because I wanted her to be, and that way we had something to cruise in case my frame swap took 4 years. I wasn't sure. I don't think anybody's ever done it. Knocked that out in 2 months. Yeah, but we bagged her Durango in a day and a half. Went to the alignment shop the next day. Yep. And it's just been like the best ultimate mom vehicle. It's the best bag truck I've ever owned, or we've ever owned, because it's just, you set it, you ride anywhere, you can lay it out when you get to a parking lot. It's the absolute ultimate bag vehicle that we've ever had. And it's so funny because he thinks that I need like the gauge to like be able to lift it up and lay it out and stuff like that. I'm like, I drive this truck constantly. I can feel it, man. Like, I don't need a gauge or nothing. Like, when he gets in there and he's like fucking around with shit, I'm like, honey, it's too high in the front. And he's like, do you want to drive? Yes, I do.
Yeah. But we got done with her Durango, and we started on the body drop portion of my truck. What happened? LST, I believe it was last year, so LST 2018.
This fool.
On the way up there,
I think I want to buy a frame. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, honey, sure. Then next thing you know, I see him talking to Do-Man at Fat Fabs, and he's just like, oh yeah, here's my card. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have a panic attack. What did you just do? Here I am. Oh God.
But Jake said he could get me a frame in 2 weeks. Me and Bobby Reynolds, we went up there, and 2 weeks later we got a frame from Jake, brought it down here, and we started.
And just started cutting it apart.
Went to Jake for his kits. It's the most complete kits. With Fat Fabs, you get the most for your money, I believe. It's a super easy frame. It's simple, but it's very effective. You know, parallel 4-link, drag link, the whole front end set up for laying on a fat tire on a 26. You can get it to lay on a 28 pretty easy. It came with bags, shocks, everything. It was a complete turnkey pretty much build, you know. And one of the first things I asked Jake was, is it pretty much just a bolt-on body drop, or, you know, you take the cab off, put the cab back on? He said, well, they call it stock floor, but it's not 100% stock floor. There's a lot of cutting out of the floorboard and firewall and stuff. So
that
got
part
me
was fun.
Got me a little prepared for it.
The little hands came in handy for the interior and all
the
wiring.
She was there for everything.
The wiring. Road trips, man.
That's one of our favorite things about going to car shows, is just the trip there.
Exactly.
The adventures you get into, the gas stations.
Experiences, like our dog Puppers. The last show that we were at, we were driving home and we had to bring him into the convenience store, and he just takes a nice hefty shit right in the middle of the aisle, and I'm like, well done, dude.
But no, I think the best part about shows and any memories we've had is just the getting there part.
Oh yeah.
That's the most fun out of anything.
And when you have kids, it makes it even more like, it's almost like
mini vacations every time too.
I would say more like an extreme sport. But you're also teaching your kids like a very important thing in life, is that if you have something that you worked hard for, you take care of it. They always see me cleaning my truck. They always see me cleaning my truck out and taking care of it and whatnot. I don't know of any 5 and 8-year-old kid that has car show etiquette like mine. I'm sorry, but I don't.
Car show etiquette, that is a big deal. Don't touch the cars. Don't lean on the cars. Don't go up and lean inside of them. Don't try to open the doors. Car show etiquette for kids, I think, is something that needs to be taught to half the kids that go to these car shows.
Absolutely.
And they have it.
And they have it.
To me, I think Texas, we've lived in Texas now 7 years. Texas has the biggest car scene out of anywhere we've lived.
Yes.
We've lived East Coast. Shout out to Twisted Concepts and Endless Obsessions.
Endless Obsessions.
And that was our first couple little clubs we were in the East Coast. But we've been all over the world. Texas has got to have it as far as car shows.
LST is my absolute favorite show in the whole entire world. Next year, hopefully, I will be in Battle in Bama.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an addiction for us? I would have to say, no, it's not. It is not an addiction. It is a lifestyle, but it's not an addiction, because we know how to compartmentalize and not go completely insane with our money. We do have 2 kids to raise, so when it comes to the finances, I am in charge. So no, we are not addicted.
But it is a passion, and she may not be addicted, but it's probably because I've been through rehab from it 3 times.
It's something that we share, definitely something that we really have in common, that we've always had in common.
But if it comes before food or
kids or clothes or anything like that, that's gonna like famish our family, then, you know, we know how to talk about other stuff, you guys. Like, hey, where do you want to eat?
Yeah.
Not, hey, how about those billets, babe?
Yeah.
Did you see what I texted you?
Right.
Yeah, you know, they're only like $8,000 and we got like $500 in the account. The answer is no, people. Just learn to say no.
Did
Can I
pretty
give
good?
you a smooch?
Yes, that was great.
Y'all need to like and subscribe.